Welcome to iCAN VIP membership page, your ultimate guide for aspiring and ambitious international students who wish to pursue their Canadian education and eventually settle in Canada. You're lucky to have made it here. Not everyone is. My name is Bella. I am your international student advisor, and today I'm going to be walking you through on how to create your GCK account, and we're going to do that together. Stay tuned. Alright, so let's dive right in. So 2 things. First and foremost, you need to make sure you have a stable internet connection and a professional email address. And then open your internet browser. I usually use Google because it's not complicated and it's a lot easier. And then key in CIC login. And then sign into your IRCC secure account and scroll down. You'd see the option that says don't have an account, assuming that you haven't created an account before. Hit on register. It'll take you to a page where you register with the GCK. Click on that and you'll be prompted to sign up. On your right hand side, you'd see simple secure access. Accept the terms and conditions, and then you will be prompted to create your username. The system is not complicated. It's very straightforward. I usually use my first name initial dot my last name and my year of birth, or a combination of a word and numbers, and try that if it works, and hit on continue. And it'll prompt you to create your password. You can use a combination of a capital letter and small caps and a special character. And the bar below tells you if you're good to go with your password. All right. So there you go. You'd be able to see that the bar turned green. That means that you're all set. You just have to hit continue. And if you ever get an error message like this, it could either be one of the following. It's either you misspelled your password, or the 2 passwords don't match. Just re-enter in this case and make sure that they're matching and they're correctly spelled. Hit on continue, and then you will be taken to a page where you create recovery questions, and you will be providing answers and hints. For example, what was my first pet's name? In this case, I would answer Hoover. My memorable person, I would write down Angela. My memorable person hint, in this case, she's my mom. I'm making things up here. And my memorable date, I would say February 14, 1982. Oops. Let me do that one more time. Sorry. And my memorable date hint, Valentine. All right, and hit and continue. And it'll take you to optional account recovery. So in here you can use another email address to recover your account and confirm. Hit and continue. And if you ever get an error message like this, you just have to double check the spelling. And then once that's done, hit continue. And then you'll be prompted to confirm your email address. So you go and check your email and copy the code that was sent to you and paste it right on the tab and hit continue. And it'll take you to a page where you accept the terms and conditions. And then you will have to create an account. So to start off, key in your given name, last name, email address, preferred language of notification, and know that these are all mandatory. So make sure you don't miss out on anything, otherwise it wouldn't let you go to the next page. Your preferred language of notification, you have two options, English and French. And then here's for you to create security questions. And you notice that earlier the questions just auto-populated. You just had to select your preferred question. But in here, you have to manually create security questions and answers. So in this case, I would like to use my birthday as my first security question. But I'm making things up here as I told you before. So that's not really my birthday. So my security question number 2, what's the name of my first pet? Then I would just go Hoover. And here comes the third question. What's your boyfriend's name, or who's your boyfriend? In this case, I'd say Jack. And the last but not the least, what street do you live on? So think of questions with answers, of course, that you can easily remember. So whiting in this case, continue. And let's see what happens here. All right, so for some reason I always get an error message, but in this case, just a tip for you guys, don't use a question that involves dates, because you'll end up getting an error message. So that at this point, I'm changing it to name of my father, which is Juan in this case. And let's try that and hit and continue and see if that works. Oh, perfect. So now you have successfully created your GCK account. Congratulations. Congratulations. You've just successfully created your GCK account and you're one step closer to getting done. Up next, I will be walking you through on how to apply for your study permit and how to fill out the IMM forms. So stay tuned. All right, so let's get right into it. So 3 things before we start. Make sure you have a stable internet connection, a laptop, which I highly recommend because of the forms, and also your login credentials. All right, log into your GCK account and click on Apply to come to Canada. And it'll take you to this page. Just scroll down and hit on Visitor Visa, Study Permit, and or Work Permit. And it'll take you to another page where you have to answer the eligibility tool. So what would you like to do in Canada? I would say study. How long are you planning to stay? Temporarily more than 6 months. And select the code that matches the one on your passport. In this case, Philippines, if you're from the Philippines. And what is your current country, territory of residence? Then I would say Dubai, because I was living in Dubai when I applied for a study permit. So your current country of residence, where you are presently living. And do you have a family member who is a Canadian citizen or permanent resident and is 18 years old? In this case, I didn't have any, but for the sake of this example, I would say yes. And your date of birth. So these fields are all mandatory, so make sure you fill in each and every information and hit next. And are you a lawful permanent resident of the United States? I would say no. Hit next. Have you been accepted to a designated learning institution? Yes, I would say yes, because you have been accepted and have your LOA ready. Have you visited or lived in any one of the designated countries for 6 consecutive months in the last year? If you're from the Philippines, you would say no to this. And you can actually click on the hyperlink and see what that means. But just to save your time, you can just say no if you're from the Philippines, as I said earlier. Have you had a medical exam performed by an IRCC authorized panel physician? You'd say yes if you did. Do you have a guaranteed investment certificate? I would say no, I do not recommend this. Did you pay your first year tuition in full? Yes, it's highly recommended. Have you taken a language test in the past 2 years? I'd say yes, because I did that. And then I click next. And what is your marital status? So married. What is your province of destination if visiting multiple provinces? I'd say British Columbia. And there you are. Congratulations. You may be eligible to come to Canada as a student. So I would go continue. And it'll take you to your personal checklist. Hit continue again. And do you have a valid work permit or a study permit and need a visa to return to Canada? I would say no in this case because you're still applying for one. And I click next. And are you an exchange student? In this case, I'm not. Is work an essential component of your studies? This is a little tricky. So here's the catch. If your program requires or does have a co-op or a practicum, then you would say yes. And you have to attach your letter of acceptance or your co-op work permit. But if you don't, just answer no. And then, are you a spouse, common law partner, or child? I'd say no to this. Are you a recipient of Commonwealth Scholarship? No. Are you accompanying a family member that has status in Canada? No. Next, have you committed, been arrested? No. Do you want to submit an application for a family member? No. Are you giving someone access to your application? I would say no in this case. I would hit next. And the next question, in the past 10 years, have you given your fingerprints? I would say no in this case, but if you did, of course, you would have to answer yes. And I would hit next. There are fees associated with this application. Will you be paying your fees or are you free exam? I would say yes, I will be paying my application fees. Are you able to make a digital copy? Yes, of course. Next, will you be paying your application fees online? I would say yes. And that'll take you to a page where you can review your answers. No rush. You take your time and make sure all the answers are correct. And then it'll take you to the different steps. And the next step would be to pay your fees. The fourth step, and just hit continue. It'll take you to the document checklist. And this part is where you will submit all the forms that you've filled out. And next to it is it says upload. So just click on that if you're ready to upload, and choose file. Oh yeah, and just as a tip, make sure that your files are named properly, and when you upload them, make sure that you're uploading the right file. Otherwise, you're going to be in trouble. So yeah, so those are the different forms that you have to prepare before you even submit your application. And the fees include $150 for study permit, biometrics $85, so a total of $235 for a single applicant. How to upload a file: click on upload file, choose file name, and then in this case I'm just making up like a form here, so I would go upload file. So if you're uploading the right IMM form, then you wouldn't get an error. Okay, so these are the application forms that you have to upload. First is the IMM 1294, or the application for study permit made outside of Canada. And the supporting documents include evidence of work permit or work requirement study. And this is the co-op work permit if you have if your program has a co-op or practicum, and that's where you will upload the file. And the next one down is letter of acceptance, so that's your LOA from your college. And the third one is your passport. Make sure that you have a clear copy of your passport, and all the pages with stamps compressed in one PDF file. And another form to upload is the proof of means of financial support. That's your POF. And also you have to submit a digital photo. Make sure that you meet all the requirements stated on the website. Your family information, the IMM 5645. And also under optional documents, you may submit the application for a temporary student visa. And under client information are all other supporting documents that you think can help with your study permit application. And make sure that they are all in one PDF file, because you can't upload multiple files under one document. All right, so I think that's all about it. If you guys have any questions, just WhatsApp or Viber me, or send me an email. And there you go. Congratulations. You've just submitted your application. And in here, you can view the applications that you submitted. And take note, you won't be able to make any changes once the application has been submitted. Good luck on your study permit application, and I hope to see you all in Canada soon. Bye for now.